Printing is always an important topic, and here in Microsoft Excel, where a spreadsheet can span literally dozens of printed pages, it's important that you have the tools you need to organize and lay out your printed material so that the hard copies look as impressive as they do on screen. The promises that we've all heard of a paperless society haven't been realized just yet, so printing is still very necessary. Let's start by looking at the movie list file that we worked with previously. Please, I'd remind you again not to use the recent file list found here in the task pane or here in the file menu, but instead browse to your student folders, and in Chapter 5 we have the movie list. Excellent. This movie list that we've been working with needs to be sorted again before we can print it. The human eye is going to look for an alphabetical listing according to title. I'm simply going to click inside the list, and because this is a designated list, the auto filter buttons are here, and I can just scroll to the top and choose Sort Ascending, and there we go. Our entire list is sorted from A to Z. Not just when you're printing, but before you present your data to anyone, it's important to do a spell check. The spell check feature can be found on the standard toolbar by looking at some of the extra icons that aren't appearing right now. Here we go, spelling. Or you can find that under the Tools menu. The shortcut, F7. Here we are. We have a question for Nickleby. Well, anytime you're dealing with proper names, you're going to find that, so we're going to ignore that once. Animatrix is likewise, Watership is likewise, and we're all fine. As with most modern spell checkers, we have a Add to Dictionary button, which will allow us to add the word that is being found as misspelled permanently to a dictionary. We have our Change button, so we can replace the misspelled word from our list of suggestions, and the Autocorrect button, which will automatically replace any misspelt word in the future with the selected suggested word. Although we're working in a WYSIWYG environment, what you see is what you get, it's especially valuable in Microsoft Excel to have our Print Preview function on hand. I use the Print Preview to a fault because in a spreadsheet you can easily overflow the boundaries of an 8.5 by 11 page. The Print Preview is found here in the File menu, Print Preview, and as you can see, this simple list of data is already overflowing our 8.5 by 11 format. If I go up here to Next, we can see that the 4th and 5th columns have been moved onto the other page. One of your potential solutions is the Page Break view. If we click on Page Break view, you'll be able to see exactly where a single page of data is going to be aligned, and you can modify that, as this little window is telling us. I'm going to ask it not to show me this dialog again. And here we have page 1 of our data, and all of the information that's overflowing. Well, if I go ahead and grab the division, I can drag that over a couple of columns. And then if we go back to our File, Print Preview, you see that that information has been sized down to fit into our sheet. Well, this is fine if it's not important to maintain the font sizes. Although everything is still proportionately sized, the point size of our font has now been decreased in order to fit it into the space that we've said we have available to us. If you wish to return to normal view, you can do it from here, or we'll close the Print Preview. We're still looking at it in the Page Break view, and we can go up to the View menu and choose Page Break View or Normal. In this case, we want to return to our normal view. It may also be valuable to set a print area ahead of time. Now, our short list of movies fits onto a single 8.5 by 11 sheet, at least for length. But if we want to limit the amount that's going to be printed, we could highlight a section of this spreadsheet, for instance from A1 to, say, almost half the list, a little over. Go up to the File menu, select Print Area, and Set Print Area. Now if I go, just deselect there, you can see the dashed line, which is that imaginary equator divider that shows you where your page divisions are in the printing. Go to File, Print Preview, and you can see that the area being printed is limited to our print area. Sounds kind of circular in reference, but you know what? This is very valuable if you want to have information that exists in the on-screen view and doesn't exist in the print area. Or if you have a large number of active cells, because by default Excel wants to print all of your active cells, even if they're blank, and you only have a limited amount of data, you can highlight the data, set your print area, and then it'll only print that section of your spreadsheet. You may also note that it's automatically sized the area I've told it to print into my 8.5 by 11 page. That's a modification over previous versions. One other drawback that you have to pay attention to when you are using print area is when you have added data, let me close this, say this is all new data that I've added, before you print your spreadsheet, you've got to increase the print area, and that's going to be done by selecting a new range and resetting your print area. If you find that the print area isn't the best option for you, you can go back up to that same menu and clear your print area, and then Excel returns to the defaults.